The past 3 years has been one of the most liberating and fulfilling years of my life. No one would understand except myself, because before that, I was in a situation whereby I felt extremely trapped. I was working in a corporate space that a time had come that I was so unhappy over there. It was a job that was full of pressure. It was a job that I had done for over almost 12 years. It was a job that I was doing that I really wanted to change. But as a breadwinner, the job that I was doing was the main thing that the whole household revolves around, because it was what was moving everything in my family. Trust me, I felt very, very trapped. I was living a life that I was sincerely not happy. I can confidently say that I was not a happy man, because I was not happy with what I was doing. I wanted to live, but I couldn't. The mere thought that I could just not move. I'm saying this to you because I know there are many individuals just like you in similar situations. You are trapped in situations that you are so much unhappy about. Situations that sometimes may make you to even think about probably even ending your life. There was a time that I used to be coming home. As I've indicated in my previous videos, I work in the banking sector. I was a branch manager. And anytime I come home, my wife will see me, we have discussions, and she realized that I was very, very unhappy with what I was doing. She was very concerned for what was going on with me, but she herself was also very helpless in terms of what she could do to assist me and to support me, because she knew I couldn't stop the work that I was doing. And at the same time, she also realized that I was so unhappy with what I was doing. I literally was trapped. And I was also in a situation where I could not just, stop the work that I was doing, because the previous year the government had collapsed a number of banks, within the country. So even if I should move from my institution, it will be very difficult for me to gain employment anywhere. And I was wondering which sector I possibly move into, because all the experience I had to do with credit, loans, issues of the banking sector. That's where I have been throughout my life. So I did not have any experience. I literally did not have any experience outside the banking, sector. That's where I've worked for all my life since I completed the university to my present position as a branch manager. And finally, that is the same industry that I was so much not happy about. And I literally was not happy. I just wanted a way out. I literally wanted a way out. But as hard as I was looking and searching, I felt like there was no horizon for me. But the good thing is that here I am, 3 years along the line. I am a free man. I am literally a free man who has been able to set himself free from the trap that I found myself in. And I'm here to talk to you and to encourage you that whatever situation that you are finding yourself in, that you feel so trapped, so helpless, that you see no way, no opportunity, you sometimes even prevent and stop yourself from thinking about it because you have thought about it on many occasions, and the thought of it even makes you so much unhappy. I'm here to encourage you, to let you know that there is a way out. There is always a way out. There is no problem in life that doesn't have a solution. And now this is how I did it. And I'm here to encourage you that when you're able to follow these steps, you also will be able to set yourself free. I came to a place in my life that I said to myself that the current situation and status of my life is not something I could live with. I was unhappy about it. My life was miserable. I wanted a way out. I looked at all my cards and I realized that the way out of this current situation was either for me to travel outside the country in order to start all over again, or for me to start a business. After sitting down and assessing all the situations, I decided that I would opt for the option of starting a business. Why? Because throughout my life, I've always said to myself that by the age of 40 years, I would not want to be working for anyone. Why? Because I knew there were restraints that, salary work brings into a person's life. When it's raining, you have to go to work. When it's snowing, you have to go to work. When you are sick, you have to go to work. When you are tired, you have to go to work. You are not that free. Okay? So I took the decision that I'll start a business. It's a decision that I did not know how I was going to initiate it. I didn't know how things were going to turn around because I've never started a business. I've never run a business. But I came to a place where I knew that that was my way out of all my miseries. So that decision was taken that I will start a business. I had a discussion with my wife that um, I want to end this thing. I want to end this corporate works stuff. And I'm a family man and I can't also earn and come home without any source of income. But based on what I have seen in the banking sector and all that I have done, I realized that when I'm able to start a business and do it well now, I believe it will afford us, first and foremost, freedom, and secondly, set me out of all the mysteries that I am going through, and also resolve the financial issues that we're already struggling with. So we agreed on that. So when this decision was taken, now it's something I began to look at it. Whilst I was working my corporate work, I now began to think about what businesses can I do. You know, like I just began to think about it. I thought about these things for a while. For almost about 3, 4, 5 months, I was thinking about it. Okay, but the biggest challenge that we all have is taking the first step in the direction that we know we have to go. And this is what I'm here to talk to you about today. Has to do with the challenge that you are facing in your life in terms of coming out of the trap that you find yourself. Has to do with the first step that you have to take. You are struggling to take that first step, and it is the first step that brings true liberation in your life. You realize that I said the decision had been taken, but for almost about 6 months I was unable to do anything because I had been reading about it, I had been researching about it, I had been planning, I had been doing whatever I had to do, but nevertheless, for me to take the first step was extremely difficult for me because I was already living in a box, and now I'm trying to come out of that box. And the inconveniences. But one day something happened in my office that made me so much unhappy. I was so much unhappy, and I believe that unhappiness which happened in my office made me to take that step that I knew I was supposed to take, that I was, restraining myself or whatever for out of fear or what people will think or whatever the issue may be, or my own insecurity of stuff. So I told my wife that no, I have gathered some money. As at that time, now we have already identified the business that we wanted to do. So I told her that based on the business that we wanted to do and also the research that we have done, I needed to buy a tricycle. So I took the first step in buying the tricycle. And it is the first step that I took that has brought me this far. Because without me taking that first step, trust me, I wouldn't be here. Because when I bought the tricycle and I placed it down, I had already committed myself to that project. After that, the 2 weeks, 3 weeks, trust me, I wanted to change my mind. I was not happy, but it's like, by any time I came home, I saw the tricycle parked in front of the house. I knew that I had to do something about it. Okay, then because I had already committed myself to it and I've already spent some money on the tricycle, I was forced after 6 months. Okay, after buying it, it stayed in the house for 3 months. And then eventually I was forced to move it and position it at a joint that I can sell my bread. Then eventually the business that I wanted to do began. Okay, it began slowly, it began gradually. One thing led to another, one thing led to another. I began to take certain steps and decisions that I wouldn't have taken because I had committed myself to something already. Okay, because it was in the house, I was forced to go and put it out there. After putting it out there, I was forced to buy, product into it. I bought the bread into it. Now I was forced to now go for bread frequently. From one thing to another. It's like became a journey that I could not stop because I had already started it. Okay, and that's what has led me to this current state where I've had my freedom in all sphere, financially and in terms of freedom for time and whatever I want to do, I have the time and liberty to do it. So I'm here to let you know that the trap that you find yourself in, your way out of it has to do with you. You are trying to figure out how you'll be able to come out of it. You will never be able to figure out, because if you could have figured it out, you would have done it long time ago. I'm here to encourage you that all you need to worry about is taking the first step. There are some of you I see in my comment section. Some of you reach out to me. You talk to me. Okay, and I see that some of you are so desperate that you really want to come down to this country. You are so unhappy out there. You want to come down and establish your business here. But for whatever reason, you have done all the research, you have said everything to yourself, but nevertheless, you are still not able to make that move. And I'm here to tell you that you are overthinking this thing. It's something that you are not supposed to take lightly, but after you have done all your research and preparation, and besides you're unhappy where you are, all you need to do is just to take the first step. My friend, when you take the first step, you realize that you begin a journey that you will not be able to stop. One step will lead to another step. One thing will lead to another. And over a period of time, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, it is then that you begin to see in terms of the journey that you have been embarked on. So my friend, I've done a video on those in the diaspora who want to, return back to their country. The step-by-step guide that you need to follow, because when you come here, you will need to establish a business. And in that video, I was as detailed and as clear as in terms of the procedure take in order to be successful in your transition, because it is a transition. It is not right for you to leave wherever you are and come down to the country that you are come to start a business. No, when you do that, you are guaranteeing yourself a failure. But you have to go through a transitional process. And I have a video on that that explains it to the basics. And we're able to follow that video, my friend. You'll be able to do that transition and return back to the country, because there are many Ghanaians who have been able to do it. And likewise, I'm also speaking to those who are working in corporate institutions that you know you are not happy with. There are many of us that we used to find ourselves. I used to find myself, but there are many of you are currently in, job roles that you are so much unhappy about. Until you take steps, nothing is going to change, and you remain as miserable as you are. You will always feel trapped. And as the years go by, your situation will never become better. If you don't take anything from what I am saying, I'm saying that time is not going to make your situation better, but rather it's going to make your situation so bad. Okay, so yeah, if you're in a job role that you are not happy about, it is just for you to take your first step. Take the first step in the direction that you want. I am somebody who is strongly advocating for business. I believe that each and every one of us can run a successful business, because business gives you the kind of freedom that your salary work cannot give you, especially as you begin to age. I believe in working for people. I believe in doing the salary work system. But I believe that this is something that we begin at the initial phase of our lives, and when we are in our 20s. But in our early 30s, especially getting to our latter 30s, we should now begin the transition of running and having our own businesses. So, my friend, I'm here to let you know that there are many of us who used to find ourselves in a situation that you are finding yourself in. Okay, but some of us have managed to break free out of it. And our ability to break out of whatever trap we were finding ourselves in is a sign that you can break out of that trap that you are finding yourself in. If it is Ghana that you want to move to, you have to go through the transition. You need to take the first step. If it is the job that you are not happy about, my friend, you just have to take the first step. You don't need to worry yourself about the bigger picture. Just find out what you want to do, and then take the first step in the right direction. The very moment you commit yourself to the first step, trust me, one thing will lead to another. One thing will lead to another. Then over a period of time, you begin to see that whatever had entangled that will be unpeeled, one layer at a time. One layer at a time. So I encourage you now for you to sit down and identify what exactly you want to do. And after coming to that conclusion, please take the first step. Use all the energy that you have to take the first step. If you want to start a business in Ghana and come and stay in this country, take that first step, and then you begin to see that one thing will lead to another.